Welcome to the design guide for the new HTML multi-screen pencil expander and pencil expander with video ad units. These both use the same design guide because they actually both use the same core template. The only difference is when you select the pencil expander, the default settings for using video are turned off, and the default settings when you use pencil expander for video are turned on. However, you could include video in this ad and remove it from this if you like, and you'll see how that works in just a moment. So to actually select this ad, it works just like you're used to. You select the ad and then click on Add to Campaign and Edit. We will create a test campaign name, click Next, create an ad placement for this, click Next and Save, and this is going to add the ad to your current campaign's interface. Now when we click on Edit, the one thing you'll note is we're taken into an updated version of the builder. The first thing you'll notice is step one is no longer for text. We've actually eliminated the ability to add custom text in as a field. And what you're going to do for all of our HTML units is to add your text into the images that you're uploading. That gives you far more flexibility as a designer to use your own fonts, colors, sizes, etc. So your first two options here, you can upload a collapsed container media in pixels, any size you like, and it can be a JPEG, PNG, or GIF if you're uploading an image. Likewise for the expanded container, any size, JPEG, PNG, or GIF. You'll also note that you're also able to upload an SWF file for either of these containers, and that will render. However, the one thing to note is if you're using an SWF file, that file will not show up if the ad is opened up on a non-Flash compatible browser like in an iPad or an iPhone. As such, if you scroll down, you'll see we've provided two containers here where you can upload an optional collapsed container failover image or an optional expanded container failover image. And this is only required when you're using an SWF file in the collapsed or expanded container. Again, you'd upload a JPEG, PNG, or GIF here, and what will happen is if that ad is viewed on any Flash compatible or desktop browser, it's going to show the SWF file. And if it's viewed on a non-Flash compatible device, it'll fail over and play the image in either or both the collapsed and expanded container if you've used an SWF file. If you haven't and you've just used an image here, you don't need to worry about that. The ad's going to show up identically across all browsers. The next two options you'll see here are for uploading custom open buttons and close buttons if you want. If not, you can just use our default. You'll notice they're defaulted to 100 by 30 pixels for each one, but you can customize these, upload your own sizes, upload your own buttons if you want to use those, and we'll show you how to do that in just a minute. We'll scroll down here to the bottom now, and you'll see you can also include an optional video. You can make this any size you like, and it needs to be uploaded as an MP4 file as opposed to the FLV we used in the older version. One thing to note is we include both a Flash video player as well as an HTML5 video player in this template. The MP4 file is compatible with both, and when the ad renders on a Flash compatible browser, it'll show the Flash player, and on a non-Flash compatible browser like an iPad or iPhone, it will simply fail over to the HTML5 video player. Moving down, step two is for your colors. You can upload a background color if you like, or select one, as well as a custom hit area for test mode, and we'll show you what that means in a moment. Click-through URLs, you can have up to 4 different click-through URLs and hit areas built into your ad, and we'll configure those in step 4 settings. So on to settings. Your customized settings are you can set the collapsed width of the ad and the collapsed height, as well as the expanded width and expanded height to be any size and shape you like. Moving down, you have the ability to have the ad automatically expand on initial render, yes or no. That means when you first come to the page, the ad will automatically open up. If you set this to yes, the ad will automatically drop a cookie onto each user's browser. And the next option allows you to limit the auto expand to once every X hours per unique visitor. In this case, we've set it to 6 hours. That means that the first time the user comes to the page, it'll automatically open, drop a cookie. If that same user hits the page anytime again within the next 6 hours, the ad's going to remain collapsed. They'd have to manually click on it to open it. After 6 hours, it would auto expand a second time and drop a fresh cookie. Moving down, you have, would you like to add a delay to the auto expand? If yes, you just type in the number of seconds you'd like it to wait before it automatically opens. Next, would you like the ad to then auto collapse after it auto expands? Either no, or type in the number of seconds you'd like it to wait and then automatically close. Next up, we have, would you like the ad to auto expand on mouse over as opposed to clicking open, or auto collapse on mouse off as opposed to clicking the close button? Next, we have the expand speed, how fast does the ad take to open, and then collapse speed, how long does it take to collapse. Now we have our actual open and close buttons. Would you like to use the default location? If you just want to make it easy on yourself as a designer, just type in yes. I'd like to use the default location, which is the upper right hand edge of whatever container size you've done. And when we preview the ad, you'll see this image remains in the upper right hand corner for both the open and close button. The next two options allow you to customize the height and width of the close button if you want to. If you, for instance, wanted to make it 75 by 75 pixels, you'd type that in here and upload your own 75 by 75 pixel images here. And once you've done that, the next options, if we turn off the default location settings, these will allow you to customize where this open and close buttons are going to go. So the first option allows you to take the open button, set a horizontal offset, meaning how many pixels to the right. Right now we have it all the way to the far right hand edge of the container. If we wanted to make that more like 4 pixels, right now the open button will then be changed to only 4 pixels to the right and 6 pixels down, which is in essence going to move the open button to the far left hand side. And when we expand that here, you'll see the open button is now in the left-hand corner instead of the right. And we could do the same thing with the close button. Right now, this is justified 844 pixels to the right, 380 pixels down. We'll leave that vertical setting the same, and again, put this to 4 pixels. And now both the open and close buttons are on the left-hand side of the ad. Next up, we have a video player. As we mentioned, you can include a video player if you like. If you want to switch this to yes, the next options will allow you to set the height and width of that video player. So right now it's 300 by 200. You could set it to 400 by 300, or really anything you want up to the full size of the expanded container. And then the next options will say, what's your offset? Where would you like that positioned? We could make it, for instance, 200 pixels to the right and 50 pixels down from the top. And then you have your ability to auto start the video on render, yes or no, auto start audio, yes or no. So we'll switch these both to yes so that the ad automatically plays the video when it's open as well as the audio. And your next step would be to actually select and upload a video. So we can do that here just by accessing our gallery, selecting the video, and now when we preview the ad, it's going to render with your video playing in here automatically and audio automatically rendering. So that's how to add a video. If we wanted to take that video player out, we just come back up here and set include video player to no. Now last up, we have our custom hit areas. So you're almost always going to want to have at least one custom hit area, so we'll set this to yes. And typically you're going to want to make that custom hit area, the bottom one, the full size of your expanded container, in this instance 950 by 415 pixels. And by making it the full size, you don't need to really include an offset, either horizontal or vertical. It's just going to justify that to the upper left-hand corner. We can now add a second custom hit area if we want. This one is 40 by 40 pixels. And you'll see the X and Y coordinate are basically 432 to the right, 368 down. And we've done the same thing with a custom hit area 3, made that 40 by 40, and made a different X and Y offset. And then you could do hit area 4 if you want. We haven't included that in this template, but it'd be your height, width, and location. And then finally, you can come down here and turn on testing mode, which is going to allow you to preview the ad with a layer on top that shows you where those hit areas are going to be. So our hit area 1 is the full background. Our hit area 2 lives on top of hit area 1, and it's over this Facebook button, so we could put a Facebook link here, a Twitter link here as custom click-through hit areas. And in terms of stacking, hit area 2 always lives on top of 1, 3 lives on top of 2 and 1, and 4 would live on top of the whole stack. In case there's overlapping, the higher the number, the more it's going to take precedence. So that's it for the design guide. Please call us at 866-467-2289 if you have questions.